tomorrow. At the head table, we've got the head coach of South African senior men's national team, Coach Hugo, and next to him is our captain, Ronwen Williams. For the purposes of this press conference, we will start with the coach, and the coach will give his opening remarks. And then once he's finished, you guys can then ask your questions. And then once you are done, you will then swap with the captain, and then we proceed in the same fashion so that you're not shifting these microphones up and down. So, coach.
Good afternoon also from my side. I think we have a good half week behind us, so I'm very happy with what I saw on training. I think the guys are very motivated to have a good result tomorrow. We all know that it will be a tough opponent, but at the other side, it's a good preparation for us for the game against Mexico in 3 months. Is the result important? Certainly. The result is important. It's always important. But the other way, most important thing for me is, besides the result, is the performance of the team. I think if we can make a good game tomorrow and win the game, it will give us a boost of confidence and believe in ourselves. Something we need maybe now in this moment after the disappointing AFCON. But at the other end, I'm confident. I see that we are ready for the game of tomorrow, and we will see what happens. The only thing I can say about the team is that Longwane and Bokazi will not play. This is not tactical. This is not because they are sick or injured. No, it's just a question of the trip they made from America to here, and also the jet lag, 7 hours difference. So those guys need a little bit time to recover, but they will be there certainly next week, Tuesday, for the second game.
Thank you, Coach. We'll open the floor for questions. When you ask your questions, please state your media house as well as your name so that the coach knows who is actually asking the questions.
No, for us, yes, Middle American football is a little bit something unknown. The only thing for us that we know is Mexico. At the other side, I was surprised by seeing the games of Panama of the 11. And when you see also the fact that they are 33 on the world ranking for the moment, that means that it's a good team, and it's a good team. But that was also for us the purpose of the goal of this game. The first game in the World Cup is Mexico. So when I think you can compare a little bit Panama or the other Middle American teams with Mexico, certainly the style of playing. So that was important for us to have that opponent. And if we can play then against a team who was 33rd on the ranking, 30 places higher than we. So that means that you play against a good team, and it will be a good test for us tomorrow to see where we are at this moment and what we still have to do in the next months for the game against Mexico.
Thank you.
Bafana. The Bafana team that we know of the past 2 years that gave us so good results and fantastic performances. Qualifications for AFCON, 3rd place in AFCON, qualification for World Cup. And we lost that a little bit 3 months ago in AFCON. So I hope to see that again tomorrow. Again, that team that plays with passion, that is determined when they are on the pitch, that plays good football. And this is something that I hope to see again tomorrow.
Afternoon, Coach. Sunday from Soccer Durban. There's obviously 4 players that have sort of come back into the setup. Adams, Zwane, Shlongwane, you mentioned that came a bit late. How have they sort of reintegrated back into the team? Has it been easy for them in the sense that they're back with a group that they're familiar with, or are they taking a little bit of time to sort of get to the grips with the group?
Talking about who?
Talking about the players that have returned to the squad, Simba Zwane,
Oh.
Sapelo Maseko, Jaden Adams.
Yeah, but you know, all those players were not with our team for different reasons. Temba because of the bad injury he had. Also a little bit Maseko. He was more injured in Sundowns than he had played. So he's again on level. That is very important. Longwane was a little bit disappointed at a certain moment, but I think that's much to do with the trip from America and with the jet lag. And therefore, again, they will not be there tomorrow, the both Americans. So I'm happy that they are back because we know the qualities of those players and they can help us again to reach that level that we all wanted to see, at least the level of the last 3 years.
Cool.
You can be disappointed or you can be happy or you can whatever. It is what it is. And this is something for all the teams. So for all the teams that are going to America, this month is one of the last preparing games you can have. And it's maybe worse that if you play playoffs now, this is a knockout system. So the pressure for those teams is immense. You go to the World Cup or you don't. So this is something we don't have now, that pressure. At the other side, we all know that this is preparation for World Cup. So we have to be serious and start serious on that game. And there are 2 games. So this is already something, and 2 games against an opponent we wanted. A team of Middle America. So we have to try to make the best of it. And then we have still an opportunity in June, May. So again, this is something that all the teams have, the same program. After this break, there is only a break at the end of May. So again, for me, I'm very happy that we can play those 2 games now.
Coach Talagele from Eyewitness News. It is possibly your last 2 games on South African soil before. I know you know that question. What are you expecting from the fans as we start the process of doing your farewell as well from football?
You know, maybe it was not a good idea for me to tell that after the World Cup I should stop my career as a coach. And I said also at that moment that, okay, I can talk now and say it will be like that. Till the moment, I have to decide. So let's wait and see what will happen in 3-4 months. At the other side, for me, if I should stop, I would stop in beauty. It has to be a beautiful end for me, and that means that we have to perform good in the World Cup. So I will work as hard I worked already the past 5 years to have a team on the World Cup that have good results. So there is still a lot of work to do, and I don't have the time to think of will I go or will I stay. Today when we arrived in the airport, you see all those people who were there, enthusiastic, singing, dancing, whatever. And then half an hour later you arrive at the hotel and you have the same scene. So that means that all those people are still behind us, even they have been also very disappointed, I think, after AFCON. But they don't forget, and they are not forget what we did the years before. And that is important. And I always say, okay, you have good and bad moments. And if the good moments are in the majority, it's not a problem. So I think for us, that was the only, let's say, bad memory we have of the past 4 years. It was something that may not happen. We all know that, and therefore I think everyone was so disappointed because we were motivated. We have another goal than going home in the second round. But yeah, this is also football. And I always go back on 2 years ago where after, I think, in the second round, all the big teams were gone. Egypt, Cameroon, Ghana, name it. They were all gone. So it happens in football. But that doesn't mean that suddenly, because that happened, that everything what before was bad. And I had a little bit the feeling, not from the public, but because I was a little bit afraid also for the reaction of the public. But